Deputy Speaker, the Windrush generation came to our country in the post-war period to help rebuild Britain. They made our nation great. They are part of us. They are British citizens regardless of whether they have the paperwork to prove so or not. I first became aware of the appalling and inhumane treatment of this generation last October when my constituent Paulette Wilson was detained at Yarlswood, then taken to Heathrow Detention Centre and released at the 11th hour. I intervened, as did the Refugee and Migrant Centre in Wolverhampton. Paulette believed she was going to be put on a plane to Jamaica, a country she hadn't been to for 50 years, a country that she hadn't been to since she was 10 years old. She's worked all her life in the UK, including serving food here in this place to members of Parliament. She's paid 34 years of national insurance contributions and raised a daughter and now has a granddaughter. For weeks after her release from Heathrow Detention Centre, she found it difficult to sleep or eat. And I would like to press the government. I know they have to be careful about this compensation scheme and it has to be got right, but I hope they will bring it forward quickly and that she is properly compensated. It pains me that it has taken so long for this scandal to come to light. Why did it take the detention of my constituent? Why did it take the appalling treatment of many, many others who thought that they were isolated cases until somebody joined the dots? Why did it take the work and determination of my right honourable friend for Tottenham and the intervention of the Church of England bishops and the pressure from several Caribbean High Commissioners and heads of state and government? And why did it take a dedicated Guardian journalist to join up the dots? The Home Secretary today has announced an internal review into what went wrong. If that is to be meaningful, it has to identify the root causes of this scandal. And this is not about scoring party political points. This is to focus on preventing this from ever happening again and to rebuild trust, not only with the Windrush generation, but others beyond that group that have come from the Commonwealth over the years, and also EU migrants who have come more recently. I sincerely hope, that the government will be honest and open about why what happened to Paulette happened and why so many others have been caught up in this too. I've heard some members on the government benches describe this as an administrative oversight. I don't believe this to be the case. If it were just an error, why did it happen to so many different people in different parts of the UK? Others have tried to blame civil servants, as if what ministers do and say has no bearing on their department. The truth is that ministers make policy and civil servants are there to carry out their policies. Ministers set targets and expect civil servants to deliver on those targets. We have to look very closely at the hostile environment policy introduced by the Prime Minister when she was Home Secretary. The policy of making landlords, doctors and employers unwilling border guards, setting an unrealistic net migration target of getting immigration down to the tens of thousands, removing legal aid and removing the right of appeal on NTL applications. We have recently learned that there have been internal regional targets for removal. The former Home Secretary denied their existence and said to my right honourable friend and those on her committee that's not how we operate. And we now know that she was wrong about the existence of those targets. They do exist. But actually what she said about them not operating was absolutely right. It is absurd and immoral to have removal targets for migrants. It has fostered a culture of disbelief and of treating people as numbers, not human beings. We need an honest appraisal of what went wrong to prevent this from happening again. If we are to have any chance of building a fair and humane immigration policy, as the Home Secretary has declared that he wants to, let's learn the lessons and let's make sure that our immigration policy is in line with British values and the country in which we live.